A return of snow accumulations are expected as we get through tonight and into the weekend, so we want to give you guys a little bit more detail on what we're seeing. So, looking at tonight and Friday morning, light snow is possible. It does look like we'll see a little bit of a focus on Lookout and Lolo passes and up in the glacier region up near Marias Pass. Lower elevations should see just a little bit of snow, but this is just the first of weather systems that we're expecting as we get through Saturday. So the bigger and more impactful weather system we think will be Friday night and Saturday morning. We could see up to a foot on our Lookout, Lolo, Lost Trail passes. So that could end up being in a pretty short period of time. So we do think travel will be a problem up there. As we look at that I-90 corridor between Lookout Pass and Missoula, that's also looks to be a pretty good spot for moderate to heavy snow, and extending even up to Highway 28 going over to near Polson. So we're thinking that this could be the time frame where we'll maybe see one of our bigger events that we've had so far this season. We drop our snow levels by Saturday morning. So that's when we see most valleys getting in the mix of snow. Let's look at the timing of these two events. So starting this evening, Thursday evening, we see an area of light snow that should develop, and it could even have some of these pieces here that are showing a little bit closer to yellow and orange that might end up being higher snow rates for a brief period of time. So as we get through around midnight, we start to see this brief period of snow. Probably will drop anywhere from just about a half of an inch to an inch beneath that. And then that passes off early morning. Snow continues up in the terrain, and as we get into Friday morning, it looks like other than maybe a stray shower getting into the valleys, probably just be in the mountains and Lookout Pass down maybe to Haugen. And then we dry out briefly for most places during Friday afternoon. And then the next weather system works its way in. So during the evening, we see north central Idaho really start to light up. Now, places in Grangeville and in the Camas Prairie will have some pretty good south winds leading this off. That'll probably keep precip from even falling to the ground for a little while. And then as we get through Friday late in the day, maybe Friday nightish is when that it looks like we'll switch the winds over in the Camas Prairie and start to see those snow levels drop. So that's when you guys should get into the mix of seeing some snow. And it takes a little bit more time for this to make its way over into Montana. But as we get into the overnight period, that's when we're starting to see some potential for light to moderate snow, maybe even a couple blips of heavy. And then we get into the early morning hours. And this is where things get a little bit more interesting. There's a fair amount of snow that continues to happen over in north central Idaho. And then there's a swath extending somewhere through the middle of the forecast area near I-90. And if we look at this area, it could end up being as north as this model is showing, or it could even be a fair amount farther south. So somewhere in that area is where we think the heaviest snow will fall. And there's some pretty good indications that this area of snow will develop. We're just not quite as sure, will it end up closer to Kalispell or will it be closer to Hamilton? And that's one of the questions. But whoever ends up under this will see pretty much continuous light to moderate snow. So those places would end up seeing probably more snow than we're even forecasting. Then we get through the day on Saturday. Saturday morning we start to see a decrease, maybe some showers that develop up north, but otherwise it's showery, not as consistent. We'll see some lingering snow, but it does start to taper off through the day. If we look at our multi-city temperature trends, the rest of today and then Friday, most places are still fairly warm. But as we get through Saturday and Sunday, there's a pretty good drop in temperatures, and you see that Sunday morning, places like Butte and Salmon really bottom out for another cold morning, but all of us are seeing a pretty good cool off after the cold front passes. We do dry out Sunday and Monday. We'll need to worry about fog again for Monday morning, so we'll need to watch out for that and frost development. And then by Monday night is when it looks like we could start to see the next weather system come in. I highlighted all of Tuesday. It could be a bit of a mess when we get into Monday night to Tuesday, just because we have snow levels that'll be changing. We'll go from cold to warm, so we could start seeing a mix of rain and snow in the valleys and then persistent mountain snow. This has been Jeff Kitzmiller from the National Weather Service. Have a great day.